Okay, what we are looking at is the glow plug controller. This is for a lot of the older IDI engines, and this is the video on how it is, diagnostics, and how it's supposed to work, and how it basically works without getting into the solid state, which is in the bottom of this block down below. This is the solenoid up on top. If you look, I have a connector in the back. This is a blue wire. This is your wait to start indicator that goes to your instrument cluster, which will be right on the dash of your pickup. Should look a lot like something like this. Part number for this specific part, DRX01001. Going to make this quick. When we're doing this, we're going to stick with this acronym I have, ORD. Check the obvious. Recheck the system. Refer to the owner's manual if possible. Diagnostics. Determine what the symptoms are to properly diagnose. And that's what we're going to go over today. The wire we have here with the little ring terminal, that's a black wire, is your ground wire. There's another wire up here that goes to that terminal that is also green. This is not ground. The yellow wire connects to here. It goes down to the circuitry that's behind the block. Looks a little bit something like that. The white wire is also negative. Never ever touch this. You'll read that the tag says caution. White lead only with this terminal. There's some magic that's basically happening inside of this, and it's opening and closing. This it's controlling. So therefore never touch this. But yes, this is the ground, but never ever ever mess with this lug. Constantly, this should be hot even when the truck is off, ignition is off. This goes to the starter solenoid that's mounted on the side of your truck. Right there. That's where it generally is. If you are even trying to search for the glow plug controller, it is not right there. Mine's right there is because some monkey got in here and decided to mess it all up. They sit behind the box right there for the intake. It's mounted right on the intake manifold behind it. You must remove this in order to get to it. There'll be a black box over it. Also, on the passenger side, over here just above the valve cover, apparently, according to internet, the same thing, the controller sits right there on the 94 turbo ones. Mine is a naturally aspirated. Mine's supposed to be in the back. There is a small gauge red wire. This one is tied to your ignition. It is only on and receives power when the truck is running, or should be running. What this is called a shunt resistor with the little squiggly lines like this. This solid state magic box inside of here is watching this. And the way how the shunt resistor works is as the whole circuit, all 8 glow plugs, as it heats up, resistance increases. As the resistance increases, this little logic piece is in here detects it, and it opens by opening this part, which is the ground. It goes back to the back of the brain. Don't overcomplicate it. But that's how this guy controls this. And if you have a lot of clicking going on, or it's been getting worse and worse, and it's been getting harder to start, I advise you that you go right to your glow plugs. I mean, think about it. What on here eats the most heat? What eats the most wear? Is it going to be this guy, or is it going to be these 8? Looks like that. There's about 1 billion videos out there on how to check these. When you're checking this system, remove all 8 of the connectors that go to the head of this guy. It looks like that. It'll be a barrel connector. You just pull him off. You must pull off all 8 and check all 8. Do not leave these on and start checking them. You'll get a false reading. What you'll do is you will stick your probe just like that and even leave it in the engine. Now you can take these out and clean the soot off of it. These will be heavily caked, but you can leave it in to test. Just make sure that your meter can make really good contact, otherwise you'll get a false reading and it'll appear bad when actually it's good. All of them must be about from 1 ohm to 5 ohms. This is how it works. It eats so much power so quick this turns bright red. If you see any of them that are more than 5.5 ohms, catch the point. This is not 1 ohm, this is point. I want to make sure I point that out. If you read any of them that are substantially more than 0.5, such as like if they were all 0.1 and 0.2 and 0.3 and then you had one that was 0.8, you have one that's going bad. You're supposed to replace all of them as a set, so that way the value of them remains the same and the lifespan stays the same. Because what will happen is you'll have another one go bad unless, let's say, in a year or so. Assume that this is still threaded in the block. All you'll do is take one probe, find chassis, you'll ring it, and you should get 0.3 or 0.2, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, I will point out that this one's actually broken. I don't think you can tell, but if you looked, it is cracked. This one actually had me fooled for a minute until I noticed the top of it was wiggly. You can kind of see a hairline fracture right there, and my value was jumping all over the place. This one is obviously bad. If you want to know how to clean these up, you can just take a wire wheel to these, a bench wire wheel. That does the trick. You'll notice here that I have yellow here, and this is just a note. That note shows you glow plug in, okay? That's coming from the solenoid or from the batteries. Again, this one should always be hot. And then this side down here will not. This is your switching going on right here, right? Follow me? This will be a yellow wire coming off of this guy down here. This little green wire attached to him. Don't just keep that green wire on there. Leave him alone. It's not a ground. Again, goes to the yellow, goes down here. Eventually it splices to brown wires, and then the brown wire is what feeds the rest of the glow plugs. I just wanted to give you one more final look. Go ahead and observe and see what it looks like. Green, yellow, red, white, blue, and black, they all go into the logic part of this guy. There's your part number. There's what the shunt looks like. This is your solenoid. This is what switches. Some people call it a relay, but it's a solenoid. Handles a lot of juice. That's what it looks like. There's your mounting holes where it mounts to the intake manifold. I hope this video helped you. A lot of the times people jump to the conclusions that it's this thing when actually you should really be looking at the glow plugs, because the glow plugs is what experiences the most expansion and contraction. If you are having this issue in the wintertime, definitely go to your glow plugs. This part is obsolete. The year right now is 2021, and more advanced technology is now out to where you don't really see these on newer vehicles as far as I'm aware of. So again, this style is for the indirect engines, which have the little pre-ignition chamber, or the combustion chamber is. There's other videos that explains all that too if you're looking for it. Well, I hope this helped you, and I hope your truck starts, and please like and subscribe. By subscribing, you empower people like me, which I give information to the free knowledge web, assuming that your YouTube is free. It's probably not, but at least my video is free. Please subscribe and support me, and I will continue making more videos. Thank you.